All right, so today we are diving headfirst into the mind of one of philosophy's most challenging and, let's be honest, controversial thinkers, Friedrich Nietzsche. We're going to unpack a huge idea from his masterpiece, Thus Spake Zarathustra, and that's his total war on the idea of other worlds. You know, heavens, afterlives, utopias, and the people he gave a special name to, the backworldsmen. And this isn't just some dusty old philosophy, trust me. It's a challenge to how we find meaning in our lives right now. Nietzsche's prophet, Zarathustra, he doesn't just walk on stage, he crashes through the wall. He starts with this thunderclap of an idea, the Superman, or the Übermensch. Now, this isn't about being a superhero. It's about a whole new way of being human. A person who doesn't need to look up to the heavens or back at tradition to know what's right. They create their own values, their own meaning, right here on this earth. But to build something that new, you first got to clear the land. And for Nietzsche, that means demolishing some very old ideas. And this is the book where it all goes down. It's this incredible philosophical story where the prophet Zarathustra comes down from a mountain to teach humanity a new way to live. But, surprise, surprise, people aren't exactly lining up to hear it. And his main opponents, he calls them the backworldsmen. It's a great name, isn't it? It tells you everything you need to know. These are people who are always looking somewhere else, backwards, upwards, anywhere but right here, right now. So who exactly are these people? You might be picturing some ancient priest or a philosopher from a bygone era, but Nietzsche makes this way more personal because, as Zarathustra tells us, he used to be one of them. Okay, this is so important. Zarathustra isn't some outsider pointing fingers. He's talking about his own past. He's saying, I get it, I've been there. He remembers looking at the world and thinking it was broken, that it was this flawed project of a sad, struggling God. He totally understands the appeal of wanting to escape to a better, more perfect world, because he felt that pull himself. So let's just define this clearly. A backworldsman is basically anyone who treats this life like it's the opening act for the headliner. They look down on our messy, real, physical lives because they're banking on some promised paradise, some heaven, some other world that's always somewhere else. For them, this life isn't the main event. It's just the waiting room you have to endure before the real show starts. And this table just lays the whole conflict out perfectly. You've got two completely opposite ways of seeing the world. The backworldsman says no to the earth. Zarathustra's ideal person screams yes. One hates the body, calls it a prison. Zarathustra says the body has its own deep wisdom. One runs from pain and suffering, while the other faces it head-on, turning those messy passions into strengths. It all comes down to one question. Where does meaning come from? Does some God give it to you, or do we create it ourselves? This all leads to a really interesting question. Why would anyone choose to devalue the only life they're guaranteed to have? Why would you invent these other worlds in the first place? Well, for Nietzsche, the answer isn't about faith. It's a diagnosis. He sees it as a kind of sickness. Yeah, he frames this entire worldview not as some noble belief system, but as a symptom. A symptom of what, you ask? Well, it's not a spiritual problem. He says it's a physical and psychological one. It's a sign of exhaustion. According to Zarathustra, this whole idea of an other world wasn't invented by people who were strong and happy and loving life. No, it was invented by people who were sick, suffering, and just tired. It's a philosophy that comes from a body that's tired of itself, a body that's tired of the earth. That dream of heaven, he says it's really a secret wish to escape into a celestial knot, a big, beautiful-sounding nothingness. Because for them, even nothing is better than the pain of being alive. Listen to that language. It's so visceral. He's saying that the rejection of this world, it's not some high-minded intellectual argument. It's a gut feeling. It comes from the bowels of existence. It's the body itself, in all its pain and exhaustion, that dreams up a fantasy to escape it all. Okay, so if being a backworldsman is a kind of sickness, what's Zarathustra's cure? Well, if the poison is dreaming of another world, the antidote has to be a radical, full-throated commitment to this one. And he does not pull his punches. Anyone who preaches about these super-earthly hopes, these backworldsmen, he has one word for them: poisoners. Why so harsh? Because he thinks they're poisoning our relationship with life itself. They teach us to hate our bodies, to resent the earth, and to see our one and only life as basically meaningless. They're making us sick with longing for something that isn't even real. And here it is. This is the cure. This is his triumphant call to action. He's saying, hey, all that virtue, all that love, all that knowledge you have, Don't let it fly away into some imaginary heaven. Bring it down. Anchor it right here. Use all of that good stuff to create the meaning of the earth. It's a complete 180. Our job isn't to escape the world. Our job is to give it meaning. So what's the actual prescription? Zarathustra gives us a 3-step program for recovery. First, you take all those lofty ideas about virtue and spirit and you bring them back down to earth, into your body. Second, you have to realize that the soul isn't some little ghost living inside you. For Zarathustra, the soul is just another word for something your body does. And finally, the ultimate goal, to create a new purpose for humanity, the Superman, a being whose whole point is to be the meaning of the earth. Okay, so all this was written in the 1800s. It's really easy to just hear this as a critique of old-school religion, and it is. But Nietzsche's challenge goes so much deeper, and it's maybe even more relevant to us today than it was back then. This is where we get to that famous, earth-shaking idea. With the death of God, the biggest other world of them all has lost its power for many of us. That external source of meaning is gone. But Zarathustra says this isn't a tragedy. This is an incredible opportunity. The responsibility and the freedom is now on us. We have to will a new meaning into the world. And so that brings the whole challenge right to our doorstep. The backworldsmen of the 19th century might be gone, but boy, are we good at creating our own other worlds to escape to, aren't we? Just think about it. Is it the perfect, flawless life we try to project on social media? Is it some political utopia in the future that just makes us hate the present? Is it the endless binge watching and scrolling we do to just not have to deal with the real world? Nietzsche forces us to ask, where are we placing our hope? And is it making us stronger, more alive, more committed to this world? Or is it just another beautiful poison?